discussing a champion's mental code. But when it comes to match habits, what is a code? So I don't know that much about it, but I do know coding when it comes to software, platform, all these systems that we have on the computer, on our phones. It takes, really smart guys to do coding. And if you get the coding right, the program is actually very efficient. And therefore also, when, let me take an example, the Apple phone, the iPhone. They bring out new software. And the software comes out 16.0. And I always wondered, what does the 16.0 stand for? How come not just 16? But then soon, 2-3 weeks later, it is update available 16.1. Because it's normal that there are glitches, little things that go wrong when they try and improve on things. So then people complain, and then all of a sudden the coders, they go and they update the program. They fix those glitches. Now, I'm going to hit you with the truth here, and no disrespect in this, but your software has some glitches in it. But I don't want to talk about those glitches this morning. I want to talk about what coding we need to put in place so that your software is optimal when it comes to not just matches, predominantly matches today, but also when you practice. So now, what are those habits? What are those codes that we're made up of? And I decided, okay, let me go and look at all the positive habits that we recognize with top competitors. And it's almost easy. So what I want you to do today is, after this discussion, go and look at this list. It's a really long list. And tick some boxes. Like, yep, I do this one, I do this one, I do this one. But this one I don't do. So let me bring it in. And the reason why we're doing this, and I'm going to explain it, is we don't look at somebody that's a loser and study them in order to become great. We study greatness. And it's important for you as a tennis player to have that mentality as well. When you play well, go and study it. Why did I play well? What were the codes? What were the habits that I did well today? How often when I have a player play a tournament, they win and they don't call me? I don't hear from them because they're busy celebrating. They're just feeling good. Okay, that's fine. I like it that you're feeling good. I like that you performed well. But do you understand why you performed well? What were the habits that you did well? We all tend to, okay, some of us avoid it, but when we lose, we go like, oh, what are the reasons? Let's start studying greatness. So I'm going to start with the first one, perspective. So number one is perspective. We get perspective through gratitude. It means I see things for what they are. The world is not what it is. The world is how I see it. And we want to make sure that we have a good perspective. Because, I had a statement, tennis is life, but life is not tennis. What does that mean? It means when I'm out there and things go wrong, the reality is, my predicament is not nearly as bad as maybe that kid that grows up with nothing. So put it in perspective. At that point you just lost, not the end of the world. Perspective, very important. Protect yourself. Number two, are you protecting yourself when you go out there? Are you starting to fight with yourself? Are you starting to tell yourself off? Look, reality is you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make some bad decisions. But to start making good decisions, you've got to protect yourself. You've got to say, look, I'm capable of making better decisions. So one of the greatest cricket teams in history, and I know you guys don't know cricket or you don't follow cricket, they had a habit, whole team would protect themselves. When they failed, they would say, hey man, don't worry, it wasn't you, next time. Number 3, positive self-talk. Right? Positive affirmations. Right. Guarantee you again, negative self-talk is not going to lead to greatness. And it's true that sometimes we have to be realistic and we say, look, this is what happened. But you don't want to slap a label on it. You want to understand what happened. And therefore positivity as well is good. But at least it fuels your energy. So the next thing, and guys, I didn't put this in order. So you can maybe go and prioritize it in the order that you feel. The next one is small targets. Why do we want to keep setting small targets in a match instead of going like, oh, I just want to win the match? Because every time you achieve a small target, it's a feeling of success. It builds confidence. And especially when things go wrong in a match, getting those small targets right. Saying, okay, the next one. Just the next one. This point here. Let me take care of it. What am I going to do at this point? And then I do it, and I start feeling good about it. Momentum. All the top players take care of momentum because they understand that when I win 2 points in a row, and I get that third point, it shuts my opponent out. What does it do to them mentally, emotionally? It's a loss of momentum. What does it do for me? So those are good habits. Curiosity. You go like, whoa, hold on. What's curiosity got to do with anything for a competitor? Receiving mindset is another word for it. Inquisitive, meaning understand what is happening out there. Your ability to understand this is what's happening, this is what's not happening. This has to be part of your code when you're a competitor. Because that's how we adapt, that's how we solve problems, but that's how we come up with a winning strategy. And we know that things change the whole time in a match. So stay curious. Promotion mindset. Promotion mindset means I'm going out there and I'm going to take this. You know, there's a great book that says the secret to life is if you want something, take it. As a competitor, your opponent's not going to give it to you, nobody's going to give it to you. You have to take it. So, how do you take it? That's where curiosity comes in. Figuring out how to take it. This is a secret to competition, to great competitors. Breathing. How's your breathing when things get tough? How's your breathing? And we know that the Navy SEALs, when they get nervous, when things go wrong, by breathing, they slow their heart rate, they stop the irritability, they stop the fear. So what are your breathing techniques in a match? And do those vary when things go a little bit wrong? Okay. What are your routines? Do you have routines? Because part of your routines is to refocus you into the now. It helps you with eye control. Because we know as soon as we see something, and I'm going to give a little example here. I'm not going to name the player, and I'm also not pointing fingers. But it's 4-all, 30-all, and guess what this player is doing? He's watching the opponent's play. The opponent's about to serve, and he's not fully checked in yet. Look, that's a mistake. My routine, how I start the point, is very important. Imagine a sprinter. Guys, I'm going to tell you, tennis is 1,000 or 100 sprints. So every time you sprint, if you start poorly as a sprinter, you don't catch up. Tennis is the same thing. And if that's a pattern of behavior where you start poorly, guess what? You're going to play catch-up tennis, and no wonder the match is going to be difficult. So start better than your opponent, and that comes from your routines. Look, a long-distance runner doesn't need to start the best because they have the luxury to catch up in 5 to 10 meters. Tennis is like sprints. a lot of sprints. Focus on your body language a little bit. Look, show your opponent what they don't want to see. Okay? Super important that you can create a presence. I remember Boris Becker walking into the Wimbledon lounge, and as he walks in, he had such presence that everybody, all the current champions, got quiet. The room got quiet because of his presence, his body language. And when things go wrong and your opponents see you confident, see you strong, what are they going to think? They go like, man, this guy's tough. This girl, I'm going to have to, I don't know how I'm going to beat her. So yeah, body language is important. And it's funny, positive body language tends to override a negative mind. Controllables. Are you staying focused on controllables, or are you wasting energy on things that you can't control? And again, that's a waste of energy. Okay? Let's resist fixing in a match. Resist the urge to fix. Why? Because it takes you out of the moment. It makes you feel broken. What do we do instead? We manage ourselves to be effective with what's in front of us. Resilience. In tennis, you need resilience because you're going to lose a lot. You're going to lose a lot of points. And you got to get up every time. Every next point, you're going to decide, look, I'm coming back. Being a tennis champion, if you don't have resilience, right, and I'm sorry to give you the bad news here, right, man, you're going to get stuck when you get close to the top levels. So let me quickly question you in terms of your life. Is your life making you resilient? Right now, I hope. Guys, this is a little bit the bad news for you. You grow up in comfort zones, you grow up in a nice American home where you have a lot of things. So what are you doing out of your comfort zone at home to become a more resilient competitor? Again, these are just things that we want to see when you compete, because we see it from the top players. Situational awareness. In a match, look, I'm not going to play that 30 or 4-all point the same as I'm going to play the 40 love point. There's a big difference. How do I go about it? So if you're not situationally aware, and that's why you got to know the score. The scoreboard is important because we have such a thing as scoreboard pressure. Acceptance. Whoa, this is a big one. I saw a sign that says, the greatest town on earth is called acceptance. I want to give you a quick example here. When we don't accept what happened there, we don't accept our emotions. It's like a captain flying a plane in turbulence. Now, in tennis, you're going to hit a lot of turbulence. Your plane's going to hit a lot of turbulence. It's going to shake. And if the captain doesn't take it out of turbulence, above, below, on the side, the plane is going to shake apart. Planes aren't that strong, contrary to what we believe. They're very strong, but if you stay in turbulence, it'll get damaged. So the captain's got to go up. Acceptance in a tennis match is what gets you out of the turbulence. It stops you from being in an emotionally bad place. And you've got to accept that what just happened is the truth. But more so, your self-value shouldn't go more or less, winning or losing a point. It should just simply be like, look, my formula, my recipe wasn't fully correct. Let's adjust it. Adaptability. And that, remember, comes from curiosity. People don't like change. We like to have our comfort zones. We like to have things the way we want it. We like to practice the way we want to practice. But when the match asks you to adapt, are you open to that? So I guess we can throw open mindset in there as well. Big one for me, harnessing your will. Let me give you another word for that, willpower. Do you have willpower? When it gets difficult in a match, you go like, I will overcome this. I look at some of the top guys, they will their way, especially on bad days. Energy. And have you guys seen those phones? Or pretty much all the phones now, you just stick the magnetic battery on the back. But that magnetic force pulls the battery in. You can't see the force, but it's real. Well, pulls it in. So when that happens, it's the same as energy. That energy that you are putting out there in the core, it starts attracting positive or negative energies. Do you control your energy? Intensity, urgency. Look, I'm going to give you an example here. When the lion goes out on the hunt, imagine if that lion had no intensity, no urgency. Would it catch the prey? No, because the prey would get away every time, because they're equally fast. What creates the urgency with the lion, by the way? Hunger. Wanting to survive. For you as a competitor, how hungry are you to get to the top? How hungry are you to win this match? Don't make complaints, don't excuses, don't say it's a bad day. Get hungry, get urgent, stay in. Stop proving yourself to others, prove yourself to yourself. Prove it to yourself. Tell yourself, look, I'm going to prove it to myself. I can do this. So, not for others, not to get likes from others, prove it to yourself. Earn it. You can't go and buy a badge. You can't go and buy a ranking. Everybody wants it. So earn it. Let your actions speak for you. And hard work. Look, if you're going to climb Mount Everest, it's a lot of hard work. And all these things that we talk about here also apply to that mountain climb. But that mountain peak that you're ascending, not a lot of people get there. The top in tennis, not a lot of people get there. Who are willing to make those sacrifices? Who's working hard? Embrace difficulty. Now guys, I know this is a long discussion, we'll get through it, but all of these, you need to go and build it for yourself and tick some boxes. Embrace difficulty. Why? Because competition isn't easy, and the higher up you get, the tougher it is. Difficulty is also where growth happens, where gains happen. Rest for the job you want. None of you guys have the final product. But start acting like the final product. Start doing like the final product. Be professional like the final product. Define your moments. Your moments are important. And I'm going to tell you something. Every moment that you take care of will add up. In the end, it becomes a little habit. And all these little habits that we reinforce, that we get consistent with, these habits accumulate. And there is something called compound interest. So when my habits accumulate, it's incredible how it's gonna amplify. And it's gonna form and shape who I am. Every moment out there that you fight for, that you're professional, will make a difference. The same holds true for the moments that you don't take care of. They also accumulate. So in the end, I become my moments. What are your moments like? Especially in a match. Be equal. What does that mean? Oh, I'm a 10 UTR. So-and-so is a 9. I'm going to win the match. I should win the match. No. Your 10 UTR is an average reflection. If you don't manage yourself, you can play a 9 level. You know better. Let your racket do the talking. Let your actions do the talking. The way you manage yourself. All these things that we discuss here That is what defines you on the day. Every day you step on, you're going to justify that 10 UTR. There's a lot of inspiration around you. Find it. If you're struggling out there, look around. Find something positive. Or find something to fight for. I remember one time I had a girl, she played in Germany, semi-finals of at that point it was like a level 2 ITF. She was absolutely shocked physically. Before that match, she said, look, coach, I don't think I can do this. And I said, well, whether you say you can or you say you can't, you're right. So we're going to start changing the dialogue here. Let's find a way for you to say, I can. Let's find you somebody to play for. Who's made a lot of sacrifices for you? She lifted herself. 4 hours. 7-6 in the third. It was brutal watching it. It was ugly at stages. But my gosh, she left it all out there. Because she fought for something. She stood for something. She played for somebody. Influence the match, control it. Be the captain of your own destiny. Don't leave it to the opponent. You know, we grow up in a generation now, you guys grow up, where we have all these influencers. So they tell you something is good, and all of a sudden you go and buy it. Or they tell you this burger is like, it's the best thing ever. Okay? But are we just blindly following them? Or are we thinking for ourselves? Can we critically think? So both influence the match, control the match, but can I critically think? That's another one. Same goes for proactive, meaning control the match, set the tone, make the opponent play on your terms. And it doesn't mean I'm going to hit bigger. It means tactically, I'm going to control the match. I'm going to start better. I'm going to strike first. Paying attention. This is a big one in matches. That moment in front of you, that's where performance happens. Be in the now. Pay attention. Guys, again, you're at a disadvantage because you grow up where you're distracted. So your ability as a competitor, tennis competitor, at the highest level, means you've got to pay attention. How good is that? How do you make that better, by the way? Have the attitude that you've got nothing to lose. Let me give you a little kicker here. If you haven't realized it yet, you did not win that match before you step on court. You can't go to the tournament director and say, hey, you know what, I won the match. I'll go and hit a few balls, but it's my match. It's not your match to lose. You've got to still go and win it. You've got to go and take it. And until you win that last point, it's not your match. So you've got nothing to lose. And then the same goes. I got everything to play for. Because if you want a scholarship, you've got to fight for it. You've got to play for it. You've got to be a top player. It's yours to take. No limitations. This is another one. Top players don't have limitations. They don't limit themselves. They don't listen to other people. They don't go like, oh, I'm only going to be top 100. No, I'm going to be top 10. I'm only 90 now, but guess what? I'm going to keep making adjustments. I'm going to be top 10. Limitless. Limitless thinking. And we know that no greatness is achieved out of fear. It's achieved out of bravery. So you've got to be brave in that match. There are moments where you're not going to feel like it, but you're going to force yourself. Again, negativity and fear doesn't lead to greatness. So get brave out there. Take some risks sometimes. Disrupt your opponent. Yeah, I left this one for last. Because all of these things, it's so good to have all of it. It's self-discipline. not just mental toughness, not just all these elements, is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of juniors fail. Because they don't have the discipline to do what they need to versus what they want or want not to do. And let's go back to the practice court. Do they need somebody else to discipline them in the way they play tactically and the way they move? Or does it come from them? So self-discipline also goes hand in hand with internal drive. The champion is you. The failure is you. So choose who you want to be. We're this far from greatness, always. But also this far from failure, always. So it's not the talent, it's how you manage yourself. And that takes a lot of self-discipline, self-belief. So guys, what I'm saying to you today, if we do a list of all these things, go sit down, tick boxes. Even have it in a match. Go list all these things. Maybe it's something you can grab onto in a match. It's like, okay, now I'm going to dress for the job I want. I'm going to look. At the end, for you, tournaments are stepping stones. You're not playing the biggest tournament of your life, playing 16th Lake or Nationals. That's important at that moment, yes, and you've got to treat it that way. But it's still a stepping stone. So how do you go about it? And this is the last time I'm going to say it's the last one. The key lies in the how, not the what. Because how Federer practiced, how he competed, is what made the champion. If it was the what, we can all be champions. If it is just practicing, no, it's how you practice. Is it just thinking? No, it's how you think. That's how you compete. So let the how define you. When we go out and practice today, I'm not going to ask you for the how anymore. You show me. All right, guys, I wish you all the best with this.